Okay, cool. Let's talk about Injustice. Patch is out. Patch 1.06 is now out. It was released earlier this morning, so the game has a pretty significant update. I mean, this is a pretty significant overhaul, really. It's not just of the characters, but there are kind of like game-wide changes too. More damage on meter burn 3s, for example. Pretty damaging now.
Yeah, I actually honestly think they should just call this patch 1.1.
Yeah, that would have made total sense. I mean, it's a big enough change. So, I just want to say at the top that I really like how NetherRealms had a stream for it yesterday.
Dude, that was so
Last
cool.
night they had a stream where they had, Paulo and Hector and a couple of players from GGA do a stream about the balance changes, and they didn't get to everything in it, but they got to a lot. And I just think that would be so nice if other developers did that too. The only one that really does... So I guess Dive Kick was out in the open, Skullgirl's out in the open.
Right.
Kind of more indie scale projects, which is great. Don't get me wrong, I like those games a lot, and I really respect those guys. But I wish that we would see this from Capcom. I wish we would see this from, when, for example, in jchensor, it would be so cool if we could see like their process. And whenever they get around to balance changing that, I guess, I mean, even with Persona, right? There's new stuff. I mean, we're not seeing anything like this.
I mean, this kind of makes me sad. I mean, I mentioned that I'm really kind of worried about Ultra Street Fighter 4. I said on Twitter, I was like, I think there should be an open beta for this or something like that to let people play with it. I mean, Derek Daniels, a guy that we both know, very smart guy when it comes to games. He was like, no, that's the worst idea ever.
Yeah.
But regardless, I feel like it's got to be one of those things where it would be cool if they told us what all the proposed changes were, so that some of the players who, some of the stronger players can look at it and be like, that's risky because this is dangerous because, you know what I mean? And so if we all knew ahead of time, I think that would be kind of nice. So,
for example, maybe crouching medium kick is not the best buff for Teok. Maybe it doesn't need to be cancelable. Maybe that doesn't do anything. Maybe it sounds nice, but doesn't. Anyway, it's that kind of thing. And, Injustice is nice, too, because it's not just with the new patch that they've brought the media out or had community interaction. The whole time they've had this community interaction. And sometimes maybe they listen too strongly to some too heavy whining. But
that was a Scorpion
That was a Scorpion situation for sure. So that you have that risk, but on the whole, I really like how they do it. There were players, 16-bit, for example, was there last night, and he had been playing the new version of the game, and he was there to like demonstrate all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
I like that. I like that they do that. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, aside from changes to how interactables work and the meter burn 3s and stuff, the character stuff is probably the most interesting, and probably the most interesting character stuff is that people were really wondering what they were going to do to Superman.
Yeah.
And maybe to a lesser extent, Black Adam. So Superman is definitely still good. They're both still good.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah,
which is good. That's a smart way to do it, right?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, just like from the rumors that we saw about Seth, like, I feel like he's going to be terrible.
In Ultra?
Yeah. I think he's going to be terrible now, right?
Right.
So, but they didn't do that with Superman.
No, so he does a little bit less damage in combos. I mean, in some cases, significantly less, like 20% less, but now that means he does 50% rather than 70%, for example. His forward 2 doesn't have as much range, but it's not like so much less range that it's useless. His heat vision has more recovery, but it's not so much that it's useless. It's like they like made these slight tweaks. His super is 5 frames rather than 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's still good though. It still gets him through things. So it's not like it's terrible. I really like that they had that balance. With Black Adam, I mean, Black Adam had more work done than Superman.
Yeah. But I mean, even I was watching Arturo's video too, where he demonstrated like some of the things like the the meter burn lightning is like -1, but it still pushes you a decent distance, so it's still good. You know what I mean? He just doesn't have so much advantage after it anymore.
Right, yeah. So you can jump over the lightning a little bit better now. Yeah. It's not plus on block anymore. It's like, so he doesn't have quite the same mobility with forward and backdashing. It's like kind of on the margins sort of stuff. And I was watching the break earlier today on my way over here, and Rico was still doing really well. I don't know how that ended up going. I had to stop before the tournament ended, but seemed like he was doing fine. So it doesn't seem like they blew that character up.
Right.
From my personal perspective, I was really looking forward to Bane. I like Bane.
Right, of course.
He is one of the two characters that I made my mains in that game, him and Lex, and I really, really wanted him to be better. So what they did was they made it so that his Venom now, when he has Venom, he takes less damage instead of just dealing more damage. That's nice. So now he can do, I think he takes like 70% of his normal damage.
At 3.
Yeah, 70% at 3. Yeah, and a little bit less than that at 1 and 2 level Venoms. That's nice. Like, I don't think that was his issue.
Well, so I heard...
So he also, you can meter burn his uppercut, so he does this drop kick, even though it doesn't hit. It's punishable by some characters.
I heard someone say that Bane is like brain dead now. Like that like you go online and it's just like they're...
I haven't gotten a chance to play online.
I don't know.
That'd be crazy to me.
Yeah.
So the thing is that he still has some things that I wish that they had taken care of. If you start a cinematic with Venom, whether it's your super or the opponent's super or a wager where you win or lose or tie, you end up with the debuff, which means that you have way worse movement than you would otherwise, and it means that if you do get in right then, you do no damage. But the bigger problem is that you have no movement, because after a super or after a clash, you end up like this far away.
Right.
Far.
Is it just because that the timer probably keeps draining during the cinematic and you can't increase it, so it always drains? That's what my guess would be. That's what my guess would be. Have you ever tried hitting the button in the middle and it doesn't do anything?
No, you have to do it before. But the part of the problem is that now, since Venom has this additional use, right? You use it when you're getting hit. If I get touched by Superman, like, I'm gonna trade up. But that means that after that combo ends, it's great that it deals less damage. After it ends, I'm on debuff. And so if I get hit again, like, I'm taking more damage, and if he tries to move away, if he starts zoning me, I can't get in.
Right.
It's like, I don't really get it.
I don't like that one situation where that one move still whiffs overhead on the short character.
Yeah, like if Wonder Woman does like down 3 or Flash like down 1, stuff like that, it'll whiff. It's not that great. So he's better, don't get me wrong. I just don't think he's better in the ways that he needed to be better.
Okay.
Lex is definitely better. He's already a good character, but Lex... now his probe always juggles, which is good because it didn't sometimes before. And his projectile is good for damage now. It does 7% damage rather than, I think, 3. And that's good because he struggles against projectile characters. He seems like a zoner, but he's not. He has to set things up. Against a projectile character, he gets out-damaged, so like it's not worth his while. But now that it does more damage, it's going to make people rethink just playing the projectile game a little bit, so it opens things up for him. Some other random ones that I thought were crazy that people seem not to be talking about that much are like Joker has a 1-frame parry now.
Right.
And Catwoman's dodge thingy is also 1 frame. So that means that they can get through stream.
Yeah. So, I mean, at first when I saw Catwoman's changes, I was like, this is it?
Yeah.
Like, you just did these
she's so good.
These 2 things, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't really understand what the ramifications meant.
Right.
I thought honestly that there's still 1 frame of that you can get hit, right? At the very start.
It's 1 frame startup, dude.
Or does that mean that it's immediately...
It's just you are dodging.
Right? Because I saw Arturo demonstrating it when Green Lantern does the slide uppercut string that he always does. You can dodge in the middle of that.
Yeah, I know.
And I was just like... as soon as I saw it, I was like, whoa.
Like, I don't know why that isn't considered a bigger deal. Because that's huge. So she gets a whiff punish into... She is a big damage character into mix-up. Joker gets a parry into, like, his kind of assy trait. But he gets a parry. I mean, if you're Green Lantern and you're coming at him with some kind of, like, attempt...
Right.
And the thing is that the recovery on both of those things is fast enough that in many cases, if Green Lantern just does, like, back 2, I don't know if he can punish your attempted... evasion or parry. I really got to check that. That seems like it's really good to me.
The tricky thing about it now, I mean, to use these characters, now you really got to memorize everybody's strings and know where all the holes are, right? So you can take advantage, especially because, well, I don't know how Joker's parry works, but Catwoman has the high dodge and the low dodge.
He has the high and low parry, but only the high is 1 frame. The low is 2 frames.
I think for Catwoman, both of them are 1 frame now. So now you got to know which one to dodge where and stuff like that. So that'd be kind of interesting, but... I don't know. I mean, obviously, I haven't played this game in a while. I used to go online and play all the time, and the competition online wasn't very strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So me beating people up there didn't mean anything. Let's just put it that way. So,
so some of the characters that I think are like way improved, You gotta look at Ares.
Dude.
You gotta look at Ares, dude. This character is crazy now. He's already kind of meter intensive, but now his meter burn teleport has no recovery. I was looking at Pigorath's tweets earlier today, and he said that he could teleport into Green Lantern and the machine gun thing.
Yeah.
Which is just active. It's like hitting you, but you can teleport into it and block because you're blocking instantly.
The video that I saw was against Killer Frost Slide. Which is just like a constant hitbox. It's like slide, just went right in there and blocked.
Yeah, that's right. And he can actually combo too. So he can do like some string, like 2-2, into meter burn teleport, and then actually link. Because in this game, you can only link if you cancel first.
Right.
So he can do that. So he has more damage, but he has more damage anyway.
Yeah.
And he can now teleport in multiple locations.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, the one thing that Pigora did say, he is an Ares player, right? He's like, Ares was already kind of meter intensive,
right?
So now it's going to be a little bit harder for him. But
they buffed his super, but that's you're never going to see his super.
Exactly.
So that's a character that I am kind of worried about now. Let's see other characters that I think. Lobo got way better.
Yeah, I heard.
Lobo got way better. He was not that great. So they did a bunch of things for him. The hook charge is an overhead, and it's a better wake up attack. Meter burn. Actually, a bunch of meter burns now have 2 hits of armor rather than 1, which is cool. He does crazy damage too. His damage is like ridiculous. He loads shells and he does like 28%, something.
Yeah,
crazy.
I heard about that. Yeah.
So that's something to
did they
definitely watch out
buff
for.
Scorpion a little bit? Or?
Yeah, they did. It seems to me like it's pretty light buffs, but I saw Perfect Legend say that he didn't think it was light. He said he thought it was a little bit more significant. So I don't know. I guess I'll trust him.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I guess other than that, it was mostly just like balance change. I guess Shazam does more damage, which is a major issue for him. His mix-ups are assy. Hey man, let's design a mix-up character that has no viable lows. What do you think about that? But his mix-up is the command grab or the high attacks, or overhead attacks. So he does more damage, probably more viable. But overall, it's not that big of a change, which is, even though I said it's significant, the significance is in like the little minutia, but it's not one character didn't get blown up, right? One character didn't get taken from worst to best. Like, it's not that kind of a thing.
Right.
They're making these changes that are intended to be, actual balance changes, not just like let's flip the tiers or whatever craziness that you see sometimes.
You look at Blaze Blue and it like had that history, like the original one. I think it was Arakune and Nu and Rachel were too good, and then all of a sudden they weren't good, and other people who were terrible became way too good. But I heard the new Blaze Blue was really good, so I mean we'll see how that goes. But I don't know. We've got 10 minutes left. Do you want to just jump on to the next thing?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I mean, I really want to talk about the Capcom Cup stuff, right?
Talk about Capcom Cup.
It's invite.
It is.
Cross Tekken and Marvel.
So Street Fighter 4 is all people who qualify. Some of the qualifiers have already happened. Some of them are coming up. In Cross Tekken, as you said, they announced that 4 people are invited, and 4 more Americans only get to qualify from the internet if you have 15,000 BP by the time the tournament starts.
I'm not a fan of that, to be honest with you. But
so the players who got it in are Knuckle-Doo, who qualified. He actually won a qualifier. Alex Vi was invited. Infiltration was invited, and Justin Wong was invited. I think that those are good choices. Tokido could be. I mean, look, a bunch of players could be in there. There are a ton of people that you could put in there instead of, I think, any of those 4. But those 4 are fine choices. It seems like they probably wanted to stick more with North American people, Americans, I guess, in particular. Maybe money was an issue. I don't know. But look, Alex got 4th at EVO. He won a major. He got a bunch of top 8s. Justin got 2nd at EVO. Knuckle-Doo won a qualifier. So it's,
the person that I feel like got screwed the most out of there's 2 of them, right? Obviously one, Tokido, right, got kind of screwed out of this, right? And secondly, I actually feel like Ricky Ortiz got really screwed out of this.
Okay, yeah, he'd be a fine choice.
Because he'd be a great choice, right? But the problem is, let's face it, we all know Ricky has 0 BP on Cross Tekken, because these guys don't play online, right?
Yeah.
So, in order to even just qualify for the tournament, he's got to grind like you've never, like he's got to go nuts.
He can get it. It's up until like late October, so he's got
right.
almost 4 weeks.
Yeah.
He can do it. But yeah, certainly I've seen some criticism of the online requirement. So in my view, I think it's pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
I like it, and the reason is that I want them to try to pick people who really care about the game.
Yeah.
And that's not a perfect indicator, but it is one of the potential indicators that you could use.
Yeah.
I don't know that you're going to get it perfectly. I mean, maybe they should have had 6 people invited and 2 people qualify. Right? Something like that, but...
I mean, I saw even on Twitter that Jibbo was really upset about how everything turned out, and he says he might not even enter.
Right.
Just because he's frustrated with how it worked out.
I don't think that's going to end up happening, but maybe.
Because, I mean, honestly, I would love to see Jibbo there, obviously.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I want to see Seth, LOL.
I heard he hasn't been playing.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely in that video where the anonymous announcer at the start of it is talking about Seth, like Seth wins or some crap, whatever the asshole says. I was like, oh, they're inviting Seth, right? Like, why would they have him in the reveal video if he's not in the tournament? It's like really confusing.
Yeah, I know. the reveal video of all Ultra David all the time.
I mean, dude,
and then they
commentate that game like nobody else wants to.
And then they put a clip of me getting excited about Mega Man Cross Street Fighter.
Did they really?
Yeah, that's when I'm like all cheering. That's what I think I was cheering for at the time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if you're Jibbo, I understand that it's annoying because this is basically calling you. It's requiring you to be an online warrior, and they want that. I think Jibbo's right that they want that for marketing. They want to be able to say, look, we have these 4 like offline pros, and then we have these 4 online qualifiers. But it's kind of crazy because he is definitely not an online dude, right? Same with a bunch of people who qualify online who already have, or who can get the 15K BP. I mean, some of them definitely are. Like if you're Tampa Bison, like I maybe he has a long time experience in the fighting community. I don't know. I heard about him relatively recently and originally online. So if you're that kind of guy, like this is something that's got to be cool. But at the same time, it's annoying because it's online and lag is an issue. So you might not get the best players because lag's an issue. You're not gonna get the worst players either. Remember Evo Online? We didn't get bad players coming out of that thing. Those were good players, but maybe not the best players.
Right.
So the top 8 is going to be kind of funky. We'll see. I hope mostly for entertaining matches. That's really what, in my opinion, what the game needs.
And that's why I would have loved to see guys like Jibbo and Ryan Hunter just be invited. Seth LOL and stuff like that, and Tokido too. Because
I almost wonder if they.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean Tokido would have been great. I almost wonder if they talked to Seth and Seth was like, I haven't been playing or something, because they made that video that has Seth in it and then they didn't. Like I'm like, what? I just keep trying to think why they would do that. So that's Capcom Cup. It's in late December, right?
Okay, one more question about Capcom Cup.
Sure.
Also, Marvel is going to be 8 invites.
Yeah.
There's no qualifiers.
Right.
Everyone has said that the 5 gods need to be in there, right? Filipino champ, Christie, Justin Wong, PR Bauer, and Flocker. That's like
good
those
list,
5
man.
are making it, right?
Good list.
Nemo called out Filipino champ on Twitter. Was awesome, right? He was like, "So, do you want to have a chance to run it back so I can take some more of your money?" Kind of thing. They gotta put Nemo in there.
Nemo should be in there.
I mean, he might not necessarily be the most qualified in terms of tournament experience and stuff like that.
It's definitely
not. But the drama that he would bring into that and the hype that he would bring into that, I think would be really awesome.
Everybody knows he's a really solid player.
Right.
He's a really good player. Very smart.
Now, here the question is, who would the last 2 be? Right? Neo is really campaigning for this. I talked to him, and he's like, I really want to get it. He's done really well. He's been very consistent. But there's players like Ray. Then we've got, like, players who we don't see a lot, like Moons, who's really,
Moons is super good.
Flux does awesome all the time. Dude, Clockwork would be a crowd favorite,
That'd be
right?
Good.
He would be, like, everyone would just want to see him win, right? I mentioned Ray already, right? Or
Gated.
Yeah, okay. And then, who was the few of the other ones that I was thinking of? There's just a lot of people that could go in there, right?
I mean, the thing is that ideally I would want it to not just be Americans. I'd want to see, like, B in there. I would want to see, like, Zach Bennett. I want to see, like, White Black, maybe, like, King Blue River. Some Japanese players.
Oh, Marlon Pie is another one that a lot of people brought up because he's so much fun to watch, right? So,
But I just, considering what they did in the Cross Tekken Top 8, invite one person from East Asia and everybody else is Americans, I'm looking for it to mostly be American.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
maybe one person,
Well, I think
maybe
it's
two
gonna
at
be,
most.
It's gonna be 7 US and Nemo. That's how I
It's
feel.
very
like it's
possible.
Gonna be. Yeah, that's how I feel like it's gonna be.
Yeah, yeah.
But dude,
I almost don't know if I expect Nemo, to be honest. Like I would.
well, actually, Tokido came up to me at Capcom Cup. He's like, "Do you know if Nemo's gonna get invited?" I was like, "I have no idea."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Can you find out? Because in order for him to make it, he needs to start planning now."
Oh sure.
So, we'll probably. I don't know.
That's
Maybe
on Capcom,
I'll
man.
probably send an email to Combo Fiend or something like that
Yeah.
and let him know that if they want Nemo, that they should just announce him now so Nemo can start planning. But I think he should go. I think
That'd be
he should.
great.
Yeah,
That'd
he'd
be
be
awesome.
awesome,
There's a
so.
lot of good choices for that.
Yeah,
So Sonic is in Smash, the new Smash.
yeah. They just announced
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah. But
Only a few looks at him.
I hope
Hard to know.
he doesn't suck.
Hope he
this
doesn't
time.
suck.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing is he wasn't terrible in the last one. Only he's terrible if you turn off items, right?
Still wasn't that great.
Yeah.
I mean, it helped him.
Yeah, because he could get to them easier.
Yeah,
but
it helped him,
he
but it wasn't.
very good. Yeah.
Twitch got $20 million in venture capital funding.
Can't wait to see that money.
May their company parties be very enjoyable. No, seriously though, good job to them for picking up so much money.
Yeah,
And I hope that they turn it into something good,
yeah,
man.
I hope it gets. I hope it. Well, dude.
I hope the tech gets better.
You know where that $20 million is going, right? It's going to the Xbox 360, the Xbox One and the PS4 launch, upgrading servers.
Yeah,
dude,
I mean,
because,
but they need to do that.
yeah,
right?
because they're gonna get blown up, dude. They're
Yeah,
gonna get
definitely.
blown up.
Evo 6 games. So Mr. Wizard tweeted earlier today saying if you had a lineup that you could pick of 6 games at most
Right.
for Evo 2014, which 6 would you pick?
Yes.
Games?
And
Pick
you can go.
6.
You can go find that tweet as well and try to respond to it.
Yeah,
You know,
Evil Mr. Wizard.
Okay, so Street Fighter 4 or whatever. I mean, I hope Ultra's out by next year.
Yeah,
right?
SF4 obviously.
Marvel,
obviously.
Right? So those two are the obvious ones.
Yes.
I want to see KOF back.
KOF? Okay.
Because KOF is hype every year.
Yes.
It's awesome, right? But this time, let's allocate 3 hours for grand finals,
Okay.
okay? Please, okay? Or just do top 6 or something like that, right? Because KOF is long. I would like to see Injustice back because it's getting patched and all this stuff like that. I want to see Guilty Gear Plus R because I am the biggest Guilty Gear.
Not Xrd?
Well, Xrd might not even be out by
Okay.
that time.
Well, but Guilty Gear.
It might not
One of the
be.
Guilty
Yeah,
Gears.
yeah.
Fair.
But, I mean, if I had to go with one of them, Blaze Blue might be the one that makes the most sense because it's coming out soon and
Can't
it's
believe
going to
you
have the
said
most
that.
play. It's going to have the most play right now. That's the problem. That's why I'm like, I mentioned this on Twitter today. Like, it's hard for the Arxis game because there's 3 of them and you just have this feeling that only one of them's making it in. Right?
Yeah.
And so, like,
Probably.
and it sucks. And so I want Guilty Gear, but I think it's better. I think Blaze Blue might be a better choice at that moment because it is newer. It has all these characters and all this other stuff like that. So, what would I pick for a 6th game? Oh, Smash, of course. I want Smash back.
I got the exact same list, buddy. Well, except Guilty Gear rather than Blaze Blue.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Street Fighter
Okay,
4,
okay.
Marvel, KOF, Injustice, Guilty Gear, Smash. My ideal top 6 doesn't look like that.
Yeah,
But
the one that you want. Right,
I want
right,
Cross Tekken in there. I want Tekken in there.
Right.
I want, like,
What about Killer Instinct?
I don't care about that game.
How do you really feel? Don't hide anything, okay? Like, don't hold back. I just want to know, like, how you really feel about.
It's not that I don't care about the game itself. It's that it's on a system that I don't care about.
Oh, right.
That's
okay.
the thing. If it were available for both, my feelings on it would be quite different than they are. It's an unfortunate happenstance for them. I hope Xbox still sells well. I know predictions are that it's going to sell well. So, I mean, good luck to them. But I'm not going to buy that thing.
Honestly, I mean, my biggest concern about that game is that it's going to be more fun to play than it is to watch because all the mind games that you see from the guessing of counter breakers and all that stuff like that, no one is going to get hype seeing an exclamation mark appear somewhere's head. As soon as an exclamation mark appears, well, if you're playing, you're like, oh, I got him, and you get excited. Everybody watching is going to be like, an exclamation mark appeared above his head, right? But I did watch some video footage of Campbell playing Sadira, the new character, versus
She looks fun, actually.
a Glacius a person playing Glacius, and they were playing zoning, and it actually looked kind of interesting. Like it wasn't just like combo, okay, mind game, combo. Yeah. They actually were playing a game, and that actually got me a little more optimistic about the game. So
honestly, that's probably in there. That's probably like the third most likely game after Street Fighter and Marvel. Because
you got to give it a
Evo
shot.
Evo's getting on Xbox now.
That's right. Yeah.
And maybe they're buying Xboxes, but maybe Microsoft is giving them Xboxes.
Right. And then plus the other thing too is that honestly, like we have to give as many of these American developed companies chances as possible.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, well, I don't know. It's Evo is an international thing. But yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm not even. I'm just talking about because the Japanese companies aren't doing it for. You know what I mean? Like when you were talking about all the developer interaction with Injustice, you mentioned 3 American developers: Divekick, Skullgirls, and Warner Brother. And Injustice, right? And so I just feel like, for the scene to grow, like maybe we have to move away from the Japanese companies. I don't know.
Plus, Mr. Wizard jacks off to that game. So.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true.
That's the original.
Huh? Yeah, right. Yeah. Like his stance on that is like my stance on like maybe Super Turbo or Cross Tekken nowadays, a modern game. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we'll see. I hope it's not just 6 games. I hope it's more than that. I hope that what they're doing is trying to make people decide the games that they really want to see rather than games on the periphery. Like once you're picking your 9th game as just an individual person, you're kind of like, well, I guess this game should be in there. Right. But if you got to pick 6, it's more like these 6 got to be in there.
Dude, I wonder, are they gonna do 9? Because
I don't know.
9 last year actually turned out kind of cool.
It did.
And for me, it would be a dream if like Evo kind of was. You know how we had the 2 separate rooms, right? If it really kind of was a little bit more that way, and like the other room had like KOF, Blaze Blue, Persona, and Guilty Gear, and like Skullgirls. So it was kind of like the anime game kind of room. You know what I mean? I think it would be really cool. So
I personally would like it if it was just 1 room again.
Yeah.
That's just up to whatever the room they get is. So okay, we're out of time.
Show that sucks.
It's now past 10 o'clock. Yeah, the show that sucks is on. It's probably already on. You can go check it out at twitch.tv/iplaywinner. Before we get out of here, I just want to say that if you have any interest in Injustice and seeing visually what the patch is about, Arturo Sanchez did a pretty good video. It's about an hour long. You can find it at youtube.com/FGCSabin. That's where they put it up. And it's a good video, so check that out.
I was watching parts of that. So okay, cool. Tune in, Show That Sucks. Twitch.tv/iplaywinner. Hanzo Gonzo, Harrison SBA. All right, peace out, everybody.